Today, we are going to talk all things housewives because we haven't done it in a while. And actually, it's not even really housewives. Let's chat all things Vanderpump Rules with Donna Canole.
Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the Lumbattis podcast.
Hey, girl.
Hi.
I haven't seen you in a while. Like, even outside of podcasting, I haven't seen you in a while. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I need to talk to you. And then we totally caught up for like an hour the other day.
I was getting all the news breaks of all the Bravo this week.
That's
and
right.
I was like, I have to send this to Lauren.
You're like, what are you doing? Have you seen what's going on Bravo? And I'm like, I was in the middle. I don't even know what I was doing. I was in the middle of something. And I'm like, no, but update me. So he started sending it to me. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, first of all, I really want to focus on Vanderpump Rules this week. Let me also just say that if the sound is off on this, I apologize. We cannot find the headsets. And I know that sounds so lame, but you can really tell, like, when you need to move forward or when you need to move back or all the things. So I apologize in advance. But I really, first of all, can we talk about Miami Housewives really, really quick?
Yes.
Okay.
So Alexia is getting divorced from Todd, but Todd filed. And I guess she didn't even know it was coming.
What? Okay, I didn't even look into any of this because we had a new listing come on this week. Like, we've been slammed at work. So you are here to update me as well as anybody listening.
I can't say I'm the best at it, but I try.
You legit were Googling this morning. That was far much better than what I was doing. I was putting out fires.
My research. So last season, Alexia and Todd were having some weird, I guess they were having a party, and Todd didn't want to show up to the party.
Yes.
And then Adriana, however you want to say it,
Yes.
was like, Todd said that there's something going on in your marriage, and Alexia blew up, and it was a whole thing, and you don't know what you're talking about.
Time out. Alexia blew up a lot last season. Like, it was almost annoying and very, I don't know. And I actually normally really like her. She kind of rubbed me the wrong way this year.
Well, she's just reality TV gold. She literally tells everybody that she's a star, and she was born a star.
You know what? I'm all put that shit out there. Like, you are who you think you are. So that's true. But but she was kind of mean. She's kind of a mean girl too. Again, like you said, reality TV.
They're not all right, I don't think.
Fair enough. They almost have too much money. Although their house, and Todd's house, was beautiful.
I guess that was part of the issue.
The debacle
was that they were renting.
Yes.
And then Adriana was making comments about them having to move, and was it because Todd had financial issues or whatever. So the whole season, Alexia was saying, you don't know what you're talking about. We're not getting separated. We're perfect. We're great. And then he filed out of nowhere. And Alexia posted on Instagram and was like, I'm really sad that he did this. I don't know what to say right now, essentially. That's not word for word. But she put a post out immediately saying, I'm sad and heartbroken that he wants to dissolve the marriage. So it clearly was not mutual.
Okay, but one, you're not as dumb as you think you are, or you're not as dumb as as you want me to believe you are.
So my only thought is she could just be living in La La Land. And he could have said to her face 5 times, I'm not happy. And she's like, what?
But I'm a star.
Yeah, I'm a star. I don't know.
Okay, but I feel like in a marriage, when things aren't good. When you're not communicating well. Or maybe you don't, and I'm the only one that does.
Well, maybe we do, and we're not narcissists.
Oh, we're going to that level. Got it. Okay.
That's speculation. If you're going to tell me that you have no idea
that your husband does not want to
then you're
be with you,
either delusional or you're so self-involved that you don't see anything else going on.
Or your husband is manipulative AF and is still doing all the things.
That's true.
Okay, that's nuts.
Sorry, Alexia. You may not be a narcissist. Your husband may be a narcissist.
I know. It's not me. It's you type of thing. Okay, but Adriana's not all that nice.
No, she's so mean.
She's the worst.
She's so mean, but I
love watching her. Don't get me wrong. I'm here to watch her, and I highly doubt she cares what some chick in Southern California thinks about her, for sure. But she is so... I don't want her as a friend. She's so nasty.
No, she's mean, but as soon as the Alexia
and she lies.
News came out about the divorce, I was like, she's probably giddy. She is in her house so excited. You
She's
just
like,
know
I knew it. I knew it was coming.
You-
I can't wait.
And it's going to be on the next season, I guarantee.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
But what she said to Alexia in regards to her son and stuff like that, that's kind of where I was like,
She's
I'm done with you.
crazy.
She is nuts.
But-
Okay. If you don't know what we're talking about, you need to watch Miami
Real
Housewives.
Housewives of Miami.
Yeah, but but it's not even on Bravo.
Yeah, it is. This past season
It's back?
it is.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah.
it went off for a hot second. And shout out to Sarah Dretsky, who lets me use her Peacock so that I can see all like the unedited stuff. It's kind of my favorite thing. And then she'll text me, somebody logged in like in this area and I forgot that was you. So I started freaking out. Anyways, I'm grateful for Sarah and her subscription to Peacock. Can we like jump straight into Vanderpump
Yes.
Rules?
Yes. So I've been boycotting it this season.
Why?
I told you it's because it's like
I know
what
you
people
told
say
me, but not
about,
everybody else.
Okay. I think it's like when people say, I'm not going to do cocaine because I'm scared I'm going to like it.
I'm dying.
That's me and the Valley and Vanderpump. Like, I know I'm going to spend way too much time enjoying it, so I should just not start so that I can use my time to do other things.
I get it.
When I knew I was coming here, I had to dive in.
You did. That's why I was like, you need to prep, girl. You have a lot of prep work. And I even
So now
told you.
I did a line of Housewives.
You're my favorite. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. My laugh is so annoying. So I apologize.
And I'm going to have to go home and watch the rest of it now.
Okay. So, okay, here's the thing. So, if you've listened to our podcast before in regards to Vanderpump, you know that Tom Sandoval was dating Ariana and they separated, obviously, because Tom was banging her best friend. Did you see, by the way, that she tried saying that they were not best friends?
Yeah, and she said that she never, like, loved Tom, which she probably didn't, but I'm sure she thought she did. You know what I mean?
This chick,
she's just...
I can't.
She went on the reality reckoning with Bethany Frankel.
Yes, I know.
That whole
We
thing.
should jump into her, too, because
oh gosh,
she has a lot going on. There's a lot of hate going towards her right now.
Yeah, it feels unhinged.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay, but anyways, so he was banging her best friend. And then, by the way, like Tom and Ariana, they have a house together. Like they built this life. But this whole time she was like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. Like, I like where we are. And Tom was down for it. He was like, okay, that's fine. Until he wasn't. Because I do feel that deep down he does want to get married and have kids, or at least have kids. He shouldn't get married, but
Or have kids. But
I would agree with both those statements. But do you, like,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not here to tell people what to do.
she
but
made it very clear from the beginning, though,
yes.
to all of America.
Okay. So then, this is true. Then he bangs her best friend. She's super upset. She bangs her best friend in her mind. In the other girl's mind, they were not best friends. And then they split up. But they're still living in the same house.
Well, so it gets messy in California because
Yes.
we went through this with Dan and his ex-wife, where it's like I guess a lot of lawyers will advise you to not leave because then you're forfeiting your rights to the house.
Uh-huh.
So I'm guessing that played a role in it.
I don't even know how that's humanly possible, because if they were both on Tidal, which I have been known to look up a few of them on Tidal. Oh my gosh. I can't even believe I admitted that. It's all public record. Like I wasn't doing anything illegal.
I literally looked up the business license of something about her to see if their business was actually happening. And then I found that the business license was tied to an address in Valley Village. So then I looked up the address in Valley Village and saw that it was Ariana.
Billy, this is so good. Like you don't even know. Okay. Okay, so here's
I did some sleuthing.
Okay, so here's the funny part. I have done a deep dive on them. Like if I'm just farting around, for sure. It's all public record.
Yeah.
We need to get in the something about her. All
Yeah,
about her?
something
Something about her. We'll get into that too. So, okay, so they split up. Sorry, we have to backtrack a little bit. So they split up, and then Ariana and Katie, one of the other girls on the show, try to open up this sandwich shop. They're going to open up this high-end sandwich shop in LA. And did you see the part where they did another taste testing?
No, I didn't.
Okay, James was like, why am I tasting your salads again? I'm like, oh my word, salad sandwiches again.
Yeah.
Oh my, I'm going, oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard because his like demeanor.
James is funny.
He
I
is
like
so
him
funny.
now.
I'm really liking him this season, and I think I really like him with Allie. But anyways, so then they open up the sandwich shop, and the sandwich shop never opens.
Well, and they said there was a lot of permitting issues, and I work in architecture, so I do know that permitting in LA is a joke. It takes forever.
Right.
So, yes, it takes a long time.
But
Does
you're
it
making
take-
sandwiches.
It's not about really necessarily what you're doing in the building. It's
Okay.
just permitting for the space in general. But it doesn't take 2 years.
That makes no sense to me. The space was already there to begin with. It was already a retail space. They didn't build it.
I'm wondering if it was food and beverage before, or if the zoning, I don't know.
Or if
I
it
don't
was
know.
like a freaking
I do
auto
marketing and
body.
architecture, so I only know a very little bit.
I just
about it.
sell housing architecture. That's all I do.
just write bullet points about permitting. I don't know the details about permitting.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't make sense to me unless they were trying to get like an alcohol. I don't know. Anyways, so the sandwich shop is not going to come to fruition.
I don't know. I did a deep dive on that last night, and
Uh-huh.
I could not find really much other than people on the internet think that it was never going to happen, and they never planned on it happening, and it was a front for the merchandise, and that they made a bunch of money off of the merchandise.
So they were like, "We're out.
Yeah.
We don't want to make sandwiches."
Yeah, that's what the internet people think.
Okay, so the logistical side of me is like a sandwich shop in LA, like a custom sandwich shop in LA. First of all, the rent is astronomical. Like you are going to have to charge like $42 for a sandwich.
Yeah, well, that kind of already is how it is.
Blech. Oh, that's so gross. No,
Yeah.
no thanks. I'll go to Sam's Club and I'll just get my own stuff. That is nuts. Okay, so back to Tom and Ariana. So they had this house together. Okay, it doesn't make sense to me because I don't remember if theirs was in a trust or not, but there are ways around it. Like if they're it depends on how they vested title, obviously, and stuff, but she would still have rights to the property. Like if she didn't want to be there anymore, he would have had to have bought her out, or like there would have been ways around it. And you were telling me before we started that he couldn't buy her out.
Well, on the last episode, she's talking about how he didn't realize, I guess, how much he would have to pay and that he couldn't afford it.
I realize
she
that.
was
And I don't
telling
even know
him
their
that-
bank information.
Yeah, she was telling him that from the get-go, and
Yep.
he didn't believe her. And then in this latest episode, he went on about how he'd have to refinance, and then it would be too much unless he had a roommate, and that's why he asked Schwartz. And Schwartz was like, hell no, that would not look good. So the whole thing is basically Ariana told Tom, neither of us are going to be able to afford this or should,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tom went to Lisa Vanderpump and she was like, you don't need that big of a house anyways.
Yeah.
So get out.
Yes.
But he thinks that one of them should keep it. I don't know why. I'm sure it's all for the show.
That is so weird to me. But like I said, Tom, call me because you technically don't have to refinance. You could probably pull out a HELOC depending on how much equity you have in your property. You could probably pay her out on a HELOC. And then if you wanted to go that route, let me know. But he probably doesn't have to refinance the whole thing if he doesn't want to and he really wants to keep the house. Like that's kind of where I'm at. But really, like if David is banging my best friend, I don't want to keep the house that we shared together with our children. And I kind of get Ariana not wanting him to keep it either. Like, no, you're not going to get the best of both worlds. But I also think that at some point, like your sanity matters.
Yeah, it's a little petty. It's a big thing, right? And
Yes.
she was crying about how it's the home that she built with this idea for her future, and I totally get that.
I do too.
But at a certain point, let him go into debt with this house.
And
right?
Lala, why is she the voice of reason this season? She is like so on it. And she's like, look, like you won, sis. Like you got on Dancing with the Stars. You had like all these things happen. And he has nothing. Like he literally has nothing. He is in the dirt. Like, what is the deal? So to me, I'm like, Lala is maturing a lot and I'm really liking her. I've always kind of liked her, to be honest with you, even when she's even when she's totally snarky and stuff, I could totally be friends with her. But I like that she was just like enough's enough. Like we know he's an idiot. We know he's a moron. We're just going to take him for how he is and we're going to call it a day. I also feel, and granted, I was not the one who was cheated on, but I feel like Ariana, like, move on, babes. Like you have another guy that you're dating who lives in New York. Like focus your energy on that, which is so weird.
How is he dealing with her being so pissed about it still? It's kind of like in Real Housewives of Miami.
Yes.
With Lisa.
Uh-huh.
And how she's always talking about Lenny, and everyone's like, stop talking about Lenny. Her new boyfriend, Jody, they're like, he's not going to put up with this for very long.
Yes.
How is he putting up with it?
I know. That whole thing
But then
is
again,
so crazy
I kind
too.
of did it. I
Did
went
you?
through that whole, not that Dan was like talking about it all the time, but I had to deal with all the court stuff and
That's
house
true.
stuff. And
Which I do think
So-
it does make it different, because when you're in that situation, you're constantly living it every single day. And the truth
Yeah.
of the matter is, as friends, you talk about like your daily life.
yeah.
So if that's happening to you constantly, I get it. Yeah, I do understand that for sure. And I know that there's a level of hurt and something that was said, not in yesterday's episode, but last week's episode was like, do you think that there are some like unresolved feelings there? Because the truth of the matter is, if somebody cheats on you, you don't automatically hate that person.
No.
Like you don't go, you hate what they did and stuff, but you don't automatically be like, okay, you do. You're like, I wish you dead and all the things, but you don't really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you would be devastated. So I get it. It's just a whirlwind. Can I also mention?
She bought a house. So she bought a new house.
That's what you were saying. Where? I can
somewhere
find
in
out.
LA. Yeah. I don't, apparently it's built in 1962. That's all I remember reading.
Cute. I
But-
wonder if it's similar to what Kristen bought. Do you remember when Kristen bought her house?
Yeah. I think was built but renovated because it looked pretty modern from the
Very
picture I saw. But either way, I don't think that it's resolved their current house. So she's just been making bank on all of her little
shit.
endeavors
Yes.
and was able to buy her own house and still try to figure out.
So,
her
but
old
if she's
house.
not leaving the house,
Well, I think she's leaving now because she has a new house. She has a new place
so
to
now
go.
it's okay to just go and she's still going to get, that's what I'm saying. I think
don't know.
something's up with
I don't know.
them having to stay.
I think she's suing him.
Oh, probably because he won't shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, I don't know.
And can I just also say, and I feel bad because I do like Ariana. Can I just say that her blaming Tom for killing the dog,
Wait, I missed that.
the dog didn't die. Oh, that's right. You missed it because you only watched yesterday's episode.
What happened?
Oh, freak. You have to go back and watch
Okay.
that. Okay, so apparently Tom had to fix something in the house when it comes to the air conditioning or something. So he had to go into Ariana's room. So he walks in and Maya got in there, the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't realize it or whatever. He walks out, he shuts her door, he fixes what he needs to fix or whatever, shuts her door. She had left Chinese food, like Kung Pao chicken. That's not what she left, but it was something like
Yeah.
that. And Maya eats everything apparently. So she ate like the box and the chopsticks and the food, and they had to take her to the vet. Like it was so bad. And she's like, you almost killed my dog. You went into my room. Don't go into my room. And I'm thinking, Ariana,
Yeah.
if you weren't there and he went in at 9 a.m. and you had Kung Pao chicken sitting next to your bed, sis, and your dog ate it, like that's what dogs do. Granted, should he have gone in her room? No. Should he have let the dog in? Also no. But does shit happen? Yes. Like that could have totally happened if she was home and she just left the door open really quick and ran downstairs to do something.
Yeah.
Maya could have gotten into it.
Moral of the story is don't leave Kung Pao chicken by your bedside
That's
all night.
That's so nasty to me. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm all for a candy bar in the bed. Like, here for it.
I feel like the only time I've like left it for overnight is when I've been sick and like I can't get out of bed.
Okay, when I'm sick and can't get out of bed, I don't eat. I'm trying to think what the last, if I don't really eat in my bed. Is that a thing? Do you eat in your bed, Billy? Popcorn. And watch TV.
I feel like that's worse because the little kernels are going to get everywhere.
But I feel like that sounds delicious. Is it bad?
I used to when I lived on my own in an apartment because I didn't really have anywhere else to go. Like if I had roommates, right?
Yeah.
I would eat in my bed all the time.
That's different. I think that's different. But I'm thinking
But
of me and David.
now that
Like,
I'm like a functioning adult.
you want to bite of my
No, I
churro?
don't.
Like, I don't see that happening. So anyways, okay, I get that. So maybe she didn't want to be downstairs because of Tom and
Yes,
stuff.
probably.
But yeah, you can't, when you have animals, like it's just like having a baby. Like when you sit down at the table, you move that shit like 6 yards from them. Do you know what I mean? Like nothing is near the child because they're going to grab it. It's the same thing with animals. So
She's just angry.
I
mean,
know,
it's-
but it was a big deal. You should go back and
I
like she
will.
screams at him on the beach. It's so crazy. It's
All
it's funny. Also, I feel like the elephant in the room. Wait, really quick. Back to Ariana. Sorry.
You're like, bing,
oh,
bing,
bing, bing. Yes, sorry. Back to Ariana. Why does Schwartz say her name Ariana? It drives me
know.
wild every time he says it.
Ask
And if that's her name, then fine. Then everybody else is driving me crazy. Like, is it Ariana or Ariana? I feel like it's Ariana because it's A-R-I.
I think it's
So that's Ariana. Ariana would be A-R-A-I-R, right?
I mean, I think it's a personal preference at this point, but no one else calls her that, right?
No, it's just Schwartz.
She just doesn't correct him.
I need her to correct him.
Yeah.
Sis, if you can correct Schwartz, that'd be great.
There's so many times at work when people say other people's names wrong, and I'll be in a call, and I'm like, oh, actually, it's this. And the person will say, oh, it's no big deal. I'm like, yes, it is. It's your name.
Well, not only that, but they're going to call you that name. If I called Billy Bob, he would be like, and just constantly went with Bob. And then 2 years later was like, hey, just a heads up, that's not my name. I'd be like, what? I would be so
Why
embarrassed.
didn't you tell me, right? So
Yes.
I always call it out when I hear it. And then,
Good. You should. And I would want to be called out. Sweetie Pie does not want to be called out. He says he gets pronouns wrong. And so it's funny because he was telling me a story last night and I'm like, I'm trying to follow along and I'm like, wait, what? And he gets frustrated with me and I'm like, dude, you're using the wrong pronouns. And he's like, but I don't think I did that time. I'm like, you did, I promise. Anyways, can we also talk about the fact that Katie Maloney and Tom Schwartz were married. They get divorced, right? And they still all hang out like in this group, which is weird to begin with, but whatever. They all love each other. Okay, I get it. And now they're dating the same person.
And
Isn't
she's
that crazy?
25.
Isn't that wild? She's 20. Okay. You have to listen because in the last week's episode, James is talking about her age. She's like, and she looks like she's 18. Like, what the hell? This is not right. And I'm like, for James to sit here and say, that was my English accent, by the way.
That was pretty good.
Well, especially because most of my accents are Russian. I feel like this is really good.
that was decent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But for James to be calling out the weirdness in this situation, what is happening? There's
Roles
so many.
reversed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I did a deep dive on that too.
Please tell me. I don't think Katie's really into it, by the way.
Katie just did a podcast with Danny Pellegrino on Everything Iconic. It's one of my favorite podcasts.
You need to send it to me.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard of it.
He makes me laugh.
Who's
so
Danny
hard.
Pellegrino?
He's done he's written books. He lives in West Hollywood, so he knows a lot of them. He actually co-wrote the Cocktail book with Tom and Ariana.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so invested
Yeah.
now. Okay, I want to listen.
So she was just on his podcast,
Okay.
and they were talking about the whole. Her name is, what is her name again? The girl, Tori.
Oh,
They talked about Tori.
you could have said Jamie, and I would have been like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
So they just were talking about Tori, and I guess Tori knew Sheena. But Sheena said she's known Tori since Tori was 16. I'm like, how? Was she like babysitting?
Because they're 10 years apart, right?
Yeah.
Because Sheena's 34.
And when maybe
35?
she's a family friend or something. I don't know. And then I guess Katie met her, thought she was cute, and didn't know that she was already talking to Schwartz. And then once she found out, she was like, well, whatever. Let her pick who she wants to be with. Yeah. But it's also deceiving because on the show, we see Tom and Katie together all the time, but she said that they do not hang out.
Oh, so it's just for the show
It's
then?
just for the show.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah. She said that her and Tom are like cordial towards each other.
Good.
But they don't hang. They're not friends.
Yeah, Schwartz's ability to be in a real relationship. And okay, he comes across like such a sweetheart, but such a dummy at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably maybe.
I don't think he's stupid. Like, I
Yeah.
truly don't, but I think
he's
it's
a
just
nice human. He's just bad at relationships.
I don't know if that's it or if it's he's trying to give off that vibe that he's that way, but he's really not.
I don't know. All I know is he's given Draco Malfoy vibes with his blonde hair.
Oh, really? You think
Yes.
so? I think it's terrible.
No, not in a good way.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Draco Malfoy is like the villain
Yes.
in Harry Potter.
Yes. But his hair is more blonde than Schwartz's. Schwartz's is more orange almost.
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not good.
Last thing I want to say about Vanderpump, and then we'll jump into the Valley really quick, is I forgot. Oh, what was I going to say? It had to do with Schwartz.
It was right there.
I know. Oh, I know. He was on Watch What Happens Live, and he's in a relationship with somebody now. Do you know that?
They did just talk about that on the other podcast.
Do we know who it is?
I don't know.
Oh, shoot.
Katie said she just knows what she looks like, but she doesn't know anything else.
Let's be real. When you leave somebody, that's the most important thing you care about
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
Like, we don't really
Yeah.
care if you're crazy. We don't care if you're nice.
Yeah.
We don't care if you have a lot of money. We just want to know what you
Wait,
look like.
before we go to the Valley, though.
Please.
So there was a scene last night
Okay.
on between Tom Sandoval and James,
Uh-huh.
which was so funny to me.
Okay.
Like, I want to like break it down from a psychological standpoint because it makes no sense.
Get it.
James went in and it was for Tom Sandoval's like rehearsal for his stupid band.
Okay.
And he walked in and they like start chatting and they're on the same page. They're basically talking about how Raquel has done them both dirty on podcasts.
Rachel. I think we have to call her Rachel now.
Some people call her Raquel. Some people call her Rachel.
I know.
Can't keep up. So they were like bonding over this. And then out of nowhere, it just switched. and all of a sudden, James is just shitting on Sandoval. Like getting after him. And they are like fighting. And then Tom Sandoval goes, just go like hit your keys or whatever. Go like made fun of him for being a DJ.
Right.
And I don't understand how you can be in the same room as someone and go from like that friendly to that cold in 1 minute. And honestly, you almost have to give them some credit for being that ruthless to each other. They just say whatever they want.
Yes, they
do not care.
Because I don't think it's true friendships. I mean, if
Yeah.
if Katie and Tom aren't really hanging out anyways, it's just for the show. Like,
But even if I'm not friends with someone, I don't just like say whatever I think in my head to them.
because you're not a horrible human and you don't want to hurt people's feelings.
But like that is wild to me, and that is what these
Like
shows
nothing was
are.
said. Nothing was said. Nothing was done.
Well, what I literally wrote in my notes
Yes.
was I need to see the uncut version, like
Peacock.
before the editors get to the show, because there
Oh.
had to have been something said that switched.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I didn't even watch last night's episode. We were so busy and we had a bunch of stuff going on, so I didn't have time. And now I'm bummed that I didn't watch it.
It was such a funny interaction, and I it's weird that I'm saying funny when I'm like they're crazy and
Right,
mean,
right.
but to me, this is why these shows are amazing, is because they're comedic gold. It's like these humans don't act like normal humans. It's like we're watching people in a zoo.
I really wonder. That's exactly what it is. I really wonder what they're like in real life. Like, I wonder if they really are, if they've been this person for so long on TV, if that's how they really are in real life, because
Or maybe just to each other because they've both signed up for this. I don't know. But it was wild. Like, I can't imagine speaking to another human that way.
that's crazy. And in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Why are you making a scene? It makes you look nuts.
It was really, honestly, comedic gold.
Okay, well, I will definitely catch up on that. Billy, what time are we at right now? 28. Okay, we don't have time to jump into the Valley. Will you come back?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then we'll talk. Well, you need to get caught up on the Valley anyways.
Yeah,
Okay,
go back.
so
'Cause I have a lot of thoughts already.
I'm so excited. You have no idea.
Yeah.
It's such a shit show. It's so good. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. If you have not ever watched, and I don't care if you're male, female, or none of the above, if you have never watched Real Housewives of Miami, you really should start, especially if you're looking to binge something. It's fantastic. I also highly recommend Vanderpump Rules, and I feel like you could just jump in right now, even this season, especially if you've listened to this full podcast in its entirety. You know, you're kind of caught up. So jump right in. And the Valley is fantastic. It just started. We haven't given any information away. And it's kind of like a cut or a spinoff of Vanderpump Rules, but now like they're married and have kids. And so now it's just a cluster fornication. So I definitely think check it out.
But I think it's actually, I highly recommend The Valley now that I've seen an episode because it's a lot more relatable.
I agree, especially if you're married and early on in your marriage, there's a lot of like newcomers and stuff, but it's very funny and very interesting to see how they deal with things and how different things are compared to my world for sure.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on with me today. I adore your face.
Thanks.